bubble in a cup, a bubble in a cup. All you gave LA was a bubble in a cup. You want a statue, but you ain't done enough. All you gave LA was a bubble in a cup, bubble in a cup, bubble and a cup. All you gave LA was a bubble in a cup. Demand respect, but won't give none up. All you gave LA was a bubble in a cup. Bum. Fucking clown. Of the flop, yeah, he do it a lot. A king ain't a king if his crown ain't righteous. You the GOAT on a team with the worst plus minus. Spineless, cause every time you lose, you run. But when you win, it's handshakes, giggles, and hugs. Ain't no coach's job safe around you. If a teammate outshines or rebounds you, knife to the back, boy, you about to be traded. You don't believe me? Ask Anthony Davidson. I don't give a damn about your all-time scoring or the stats you pass. You never be Jordan. Get his number off your back, LeBron, you're not worthy. The worst Laker to ever wear the jersey. LeGM might be worth his weight in money. The only thing clutch about you is your company. A bubble in a cup, a bubble in a cup. All you gave LA was a bubble in a cup. You want a statue, but you ain't done enough. All you gave LA was a bubble in a cup, a bubble and a cup, a bubble and a cup. All you gave LA was a bubble and a cup. Kobe told you they don't hang them fake banners up. All you gave LA was a bubble and a cup, you bum. Fucking clown. King of the flop, yeah, he do it a lot. Fanboys copied the song, it was soft as hell. But I made this beat and wrote it all myself. Yeah, they just like you, always needing some help. A lot, but Jordan wins with what he's got. He never cried, help me to the refs for favors. Believed he couldn't win, became a ring chaser. Disrespected the game, I thought he was above it. Made a team draft a son they never really wanted. Called himself the GOAT, he respected other eras. But you don't, you won't appreciate the elders. You said we was lucky to get more LeBron, but you was wrong. We can't wait till your ass is gone. You narcissistic. Low management, ducking Giannis fake injury statistic. You never could've pulled this with Dr. Bus. He would've traded your ass, your bubble in your cup. A bubble in a cup, a bubble in a cup. All you gave LA was a bubble in a cup. You want a statue, but you ain't done enough. All you gave LA was a bubble in a cup, bubble in a cup, bubble and a cup. All you gave LA was a bubble in a cup. Demand respect, but won't give none up. All you gave LA was a bubble in a cup, bubble in a cup, bubble in a cup. All you gave LA was a bubble in a cup. Kobe told you they don't hang fake banners up. All you gave LA was a bubble in a cup, bubble in a cup, bubble and a cup. All you gave LA was a bubble in a cup. All-Star Weekend still waiting on your dunk. All you gave LA was a bubble in a cup, you bum.
Damn. It really does get better every time.
Yes, you know it. Shout out to Lamar Wallace, who made that song, who just came up with the creativity. Shout out to him for sharing that with everybody out there. Bubble in the cup. You guys know the deal. We are here. AOH, The Czar, NMB Sports, your boy, Sports and Fitness Rants. You guys know the deal. Shout out to everybody already that's already out there. You guys are always in here. Thank you very much for all the support, guys. The Real Cerberus, Rookie 305, Holland Curtis, Renee 43, Michelle Marie, Import, Roland Curtis, Real Basketball Fan, Rise Above Anything, Rap God Reloaded. Much respect to all you guys. Let's roll.
Let's roll. Boy, Lamar, I hope you wrote all of that, because you might get in trouble. Lamont's on the hunt.
He is on the hunt.
So, man, Nick's got his fighting look on. Nick, you
yeah,
to get in the ring, buddy. You
guys know I shaved my head, but the mustache is a little bit of a troll, just to being silly. I'll have to shave it eventually. I can't look like this forever, you know.
Gentlemen, you're gonna have to catch me up on what's happening.
You want me to lead off?
Do you want to warm up with anything else as people roll in, or should we just jump into it?
If we want to warm up, I guess maybe we could just talk about the game tonight.
All right. Anyone giving the Pacers a chance?
Nah. I was actually I like to do a little gambling. You know, I'm actually surprised they're only like a 6 to 7 point underdog. The Thunder are 6 7 point favorite. I actually thought it was going to be like 9 or 10, which is what it usually is when it's in Oklahoma without, I know Halliburton's playing, but calf strain, I just think is a hard thing. That's going to be a hard thing to work around and produce.
Yeah. Robin?
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I guess, as long as it's hopefully a good game, like Nick was saying, Halliburton, what's the stats for Halliburton? Even if he's out there on the court, really, what percentage is he going to be able to give? Maybe there's a moment for someone like TJ McConnell to come in, step in, maybe play a couple more minutes than he normally would. He's really good, TJ McConnell, coming off the bench. Listen, like a lot of people out there, I know you, AOH, my dad's been rooting for the Pacers all season long. You can never really count them out. I think they've proven that. So they have a shot tonight to win the game. Will they win? We don't know, but they definitely got a shot.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. That's a lot of what has made the playoffs interesting is the heroics of the Pacers. And, they kind of taught people not to count them out. So I guess we shouldn't. But still, the odds really have felt stacked the entire time, and now they really feel stacked.
I tell you right now, the Oklahoma City Thunder better not count them out.
No, definitely not. I am a little worried. I don't want another Durant happening where like Halliburton really like pulls an ACL or something like that. I'm kind of knocking on wood that he doesn't hurt himself further because it's the finals, so he's gonna push it, and all a calf is just a scary thing to have to work around.
Yeah.
Either of you guys weren't on my live this morning. Either of you want to say anything about the Lakers being sold?
No. I was it surprising to anyone? I mean, $10 billion and they're kind of getting out of it. I mean, it kind of makes sense. The timing's always maybe surprising, but it's whatever. And the guy who bought it, doesn't he own? He has like part ownership in all the other LA franchises. Walter or something Walter.
Yeah, it's not that aspect of it. I mean, yeah, if someone offers you money, but just the storied Lakers and the history of the buses, and you just maybe some people feel like you just don't do that. And my take this morning is like, well, the way that Jeannie Buss turned it into a clown show, you can kind of tell that history wasn't really what she cared about. So for that reason alone, we shouldn't be surprised. But yeah,
I'm not really deep into like the Buss lore. I've heard some people say, of course, they love her dad, but obviously I know there's been a lot of complaints about how she's done things. So, as a Laker, like maybe this is for the best, like maybe instead of, because I guess if it's going to be her and then her kids or someone else, that if you're going to keep it in the family, I mean, it could maybe get worse, it's not serious now,
Yeah. And of course, the other question is how long until it's allowed to get better since she's not completely out of the picture. But
yeah, she's still governor or something, whatever that means.
Yeah. Robin, do you care at all, or should we move on?
Yeah, I don't really have any thoughts or opinions either way on this. I think that a lot of people are done with Jeannie Buss and what she's done to the Laker franchise and, what she's allowed LeBron James to do over there. I mean, you see a lot of times in the comment section, a lot of the real Laker fans, they're upset, man, over the last 5, 6, 7 years in the direction that the Lakers have gone. So I think the sale was just something I guess needs to be done. But like you said, it's the guy that's buying the team. Is he a basketball guy? I don't really know who the guy is. All of these things matter, man. I mean, look at the Knicks franchise.
Time out.
Clown,
okay,
man.
I didn't know if that was me or
Robin.
him.
Nick, are you hearing a problem?
Yeah, it's like coming in and out. Yeah, it's.
Hey, Robin, because you're going to be talking a lot today, we got to get your audio fixed. And it was great earlier, and then you started getting glitchy.
Let me see if I can straighten it out.
All right. Well, then, I guess, Nick, you can set the table.
Sure. I'd love to do so.
All right. Fantastic.
So I believe it was Monday night. Dart sent me a text. He's like, hey, like 5 minutes in, Lamont essentially is accusing you of plagiarism on his live stream. I put out a 2-hour video last night. I know it's long, but if you can take it in pieces or watch it and kind of get to at least like 3/4 of the way, you'll essentially get my entire gist of the video. And so essentially Lamont, what Lamont is presenting this as at FYF is that a sponsorship came to him and or James Kingdom in some kind of way, that they sponsor these guys. They pay attention to their channels in some kind of way. And Lamont wants us to believe that a sponsor at some kind of company called Originality.ai randomly came up to him and said, "Hey, man, I saw a Johnny over at Goat James Kingdom debate this NNB sports guy, and I'm at this company. I'm trying to get sponsorships, but just the way he was debating in the first round just didn't feel right to me, bro. So I went ahead and I took our service and I ran the chat transcript through the through our program, right? And I found all this plagiarism. And I just want to give this to you presented nicely in a nice little bow so that you can go out. And I'm totally unbiased here as the market rep we're supposed to believe.
All right,
You know, just going to give this to you because I just want to show off our product, right? And I'm not going to lie, at first when Dart told me that, or when I was watching it, I kind of was like, well, I have nothing to worry about, first of all. But I was thinking like, man, it's crazy a company would do this, right? Like this is the angle that they would take to be like, because if you're this market rep, right? Apparently that Lamont is in talks with, you obviously biased in some way, you know, and it's just odd that it all kind of happens to line up. You know, this debate that I had with the Johnny, I think most people would agree that like by the third round, he was repeating himself and they were kind of just asserting things. And I was still going strong with things I was saying, again, because I do good research, I would say, or at least above average research. And it's a bad look for the LeBron James community, in my opinion. It's a big L because Lamont and Goat James Kingdom are two of the probably bigger guys of that side, right?
I'm not sure how something looks bad on top of a pile of shit, but if you can distinguish, then good for you. Yeah, hey, Robin, if you're listening, call back in. I think sometimes that's the simplest way to fix the issue.
And so the gist of it is that apparently this company and Lamont teamed up. It's a sponsorship, and they gave him this printout of my chat transcript of only the first round, right? They only had time to do the first round, and that's all they gave him. And so I went and double checked it, and I did it too. And I did all the exact same things he did. I showed all my work with all the debates I've done. I still have all the documents. They're all dated, etc. You can go watch the video, right? I go through it all. And essentially it comes out just totally different. I try to check the links he has. Again, it could be that he hyperlinked something to an address, and what I'm seeing on the paper is different than what the actual address is. That is a possibility. I'll reserve that and try to be as good faith as possible, right? But I go to all the websites, none of them work. He at one point clicked on a YouTube video on apparently this readout that this guy gave him. They didn't even spell my name right in the title of the readout. And he clicked on a link and he doesn't let it show. He like pulls it off screen real quick. And when I go to look at that exact same link, it's the channel cannot be found. There's no video there. And as I'm going through this, I can't come to any other conclusion than Lamont totally made up and fabricated and concocted this completely made up story or report or AI report of my debate and said essentially that I'm just pulling my debates either through AI or I am essentially just scrolling like, you know, the most bottom tier of content and just ripping what people are saying.
Well, let me catch up. So not only is he accusing you, but now it looks like he made up the story behind why he decided he had to even bring this up.
That's what it looks like. I mean, again, I in the video I say, you know, I reserve the right to say that maybe this is all true, right? Maybe the guy gave him, again, when I print out the report, my report looks totally different than his from that website. And I paid for it. I ran it through, like nothing matches up. Nothing looks the same. It's just nothing. I can't fact check anything he says. Like none of it even seems real to check. And so, you know, again, I like to give people the benefit of the doubt, right? And I just figure, okay, this is what it is, right? I didn't plagiarize, so I'm not worried about anything. But as I keep digging and doing this, it totally looks like he made up a PDF. You know, he doesn't have an account to the, whenever he showed it, it didn't show him logged in. I tried to use his checkout code that he said would give people a discount. It didn't seem to work anywhere. And the printout he gave just looks totally different than what the website actually gives, right? And so, like at the end of it, and the way he was hiding the link in the video, and the whole backstory, the guy just randomly brings it up, right? He must be a hardcore LeBron fan. He just happened to like you guys and work at this company. I think it's all made up. I really don't know what else to say, you know, like, and it's quite, I'm still kind of processing that if it is all made up, it's a really bad look, man. Like, not only that, but like you and sports and fitness rant have way bigger channels to me. You guys put out content almost daily, weekly, etc. And so to come at me like this, to like do me, it really feels like they are so sour about that debate.
Did you whip ass? Is that the problem? They're bad losers?
I would say so, just objectively from again, because I formatted it so well. This is what I do. I do debates. You know, I know what I'm going to say. I've done this before. I like the fire of it. You know, I don't really flinch in things. And yeah, I would say just objectively from round 1 to 5, we had to do 5 minutes each, right? And, you know, from my point of view, I brought more data to sprinkle around. I brought up, you know, more context. And they just kind of kept saying, well, LeBron has the most. He's the best. And then, of course, they would try to drag down Jordan in the usual ways, right? But but that became a repetitive thing after like round 3, right? So I just kept going. I just kept making my points. And I would say objectively, if you watch the video, like it's you may not like Michael Jordan. You may be on the other side, but I think if you were trying to just be objective about who just brought a stronger case of 5 rounds for 5 minutes each, like I definitely think it was an easy win.
Let's see. Michelle Marie, I'd like to do a call with you one day, AOH, talk about my perspective on how LeBron is affecting juniors basketball as a coach in Australia and how it translates to bad behavior here outside the USA. Oh, I believe it. That's always been one of my concerns about LeBron James. It's worse than his reach, and his bad behavior reaches far. In fact, he produces people like FYF that do things like this. Yeah, I don't know. These guys are very, very concerned as their idol's kingdom starts crawling down. There was a guy in the chat the other day bragging that he was out there getting my videos demonetized. I mean, these guys are they can't just debate who's the best. They have to try and shut down truth. But help me understand plagiarism anyway. Like if you took some notes to help your debate and read off of them at some point, I don't think that's illegal, but is that as close to plagiarism as we would come in this? I don't even see how plagiarism actually factors in.
Well, and that's kind of the whole thing, is like, just from a sort of logical, like, kind of understanding of this, like the way he's trying to tear me down and the line of angling that he's taking aren't really like lining up. It's not, I don't think he understands the definitions of the words that he's saying, right? So, yeah, I kind of agree with Leo a little bit. Maybe he thought, because I kind of said this too, like I feel when I represent the MJ community, I've had very good showings against LeBron fans. Like, I don't know if you know the Universe Galaxy is, like, he's a big MJ hater. And essentially, you know, like that's probably the last time he'll ever debate me or anyone like me, right? He just had absolutely nothing to say, just kind of ruined his entire look. And so I've had some good showings. And so, yeah, maybe a smaller channel. Maybe he thought, I haven't made a lot of content lately. Maybe he just thought I would let it go or something. But like, he's accusing me, he's slandering me essentially. Like, I was thinking about making a funny post, like, you know, hey chat, should I sue Lamont for slander? You know, like question mark kind of thing, like making a joke. Obviously I wouldn't, but yeah, okay, back to like really what is plagiarism in a debate, right? This is the thing. It's like in a real formal big brained IQ debate about science or evolution or the history of the world or whatever. Yes, the people must bring citations and say, you know, citation 2, 3, 4, whatever, when I say this, and it's the job of the other people to go through it and make sure you're representing it in a correct way, etc. So that's really the only thing he could say here, is that if he's mad that I didn't cite exactly where I got everything, then that, okay, whatever. But no one does that in YouTube basketball sports debates, right? Like, I'm almost positive, you know, it'd have to be some really big legacies on the line, like 2 massive channels where they're like, I want you to send me everything beforehand or something. But again, everything is at Basketball Reference. I can pick and choose, plug and bring everything up through Basketball Reference in some form or fashion, right? So again, the main thing is they are not calling me wrong. Never at any point does anyone say I'm wrong about any of the things I'm saying. They're just mad that perhaps, again, according to them, that I was getting all my talking points from Reddit is what they're trying to say, right? That's ultimately what it comes down to. And even if I did, like, what does that mean? I go to a YouTube channel, I see a good comment.
Lamont gets all his talking points from Gil.
That's what I'm saying.
Has he had an original thought in his life?
And that's the other thing. Like, no one has an original thought, right? Like, true. Okay. There was a guy to, hey, check out this stat, over this amount of time, but no one has an original thought on sports. We're all giving our opinions and trying to give contextual background. And we're trying to say, I think this means more than this, right? And that's why I rank people the way I do. Unless I'm saying something that's wrong, like Jordan averaged 50 points a game, everything is on the table to up for debate or to be entered into the arena as a piece of evidence.
I got to be honest. I mean, I'm bored because I don't expect better behavior from them. And it's a silly thing for him to attack. I guess him making up the person who gave him the report might be the silliest part. But hey, Robin, let's see if your audio is working. Maybe you can spice this up because I know you were angry about it. You're the one who asked me to host this today.
Can you guys hear me? I hope you guys can hear me, man.
That's better, yeah.
Yeah. I just invited you to talk.
Great.
God damn.
Yeah, so absolutely, man. I might have a little delay going on, guys. Forgive me, man. I'm just gonna go off, and say what I was gonna say. So much respect, man, for Nick for doing the video that he did last night, man. It was really good work. I watched the entire video, and yeah, it's really crazy the things that this guy was trying to claim. Like Nick was saying yesterday, it's almost like they're accusing him of doing too much research, doing too much work. It doesn't really make any sense to me. The things that Lamont was saying in the video, but when I listened to him, one of the things that bothered me was that he kept trying to make this claim that people like Nick, people like us, don't know how to debate or argue on behalf of Michael Jordan. And it doesn't make any sense because he never addressed any of the points that Nick was making, and he was playing dumb as to the points that Nick was trying to make in the opening because he seemed to be very concentrated on the opening, what Nick was saying that this guy was claiming was plagiarized, or he was citing these sources that, like you said, Nick, there were no links to even click on. So I don't understand what he's trying to do here. Like Nick said, like you said in the video, Nick, it's almost as if he was not expecting you to go and look into this stuff or, to do your due diligence. It doesn't make any sense to me.
So he's mad that you prepared.
Yeah, essentially. I showed dude, and this was a big debate. Like, if people remember, like at the time, this was a big debate, like in terms of our little corner of the world, right? Like Johnny was coming up and I was kind of still doing my thing and debating a lot more. And like, there was a lot of people who wanted to see this, right? And I had a good showing. I mean, look, I'm not just going to say I won because I know the other side will just say the same thing. But like, even they are admitting it was well prepared. It was thought out. I had a lot of research and facts on my side. And, I'm not going back to this debate. That debate doesn't bother me. I'm proud of my showing, right? I'm not going back and picking it apart a year and a half later. They are. Like, they are still talking about it.
Yeah, we missed that detail earlier, a year and a half later.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm going to read everyone who's super chatting. Thank you. I'm going to read your chats in a second. I just wanted to say something because I was on the debate team in high school, and part of your debate was referencing other people and getting up and reading what they said. Like, I mean, that's preparation. You quote other people. This just is pretty dumb, and I would simply dismiss it entirely, except that we're reaching the point where people can just report you and AI will determine whether or not to go along with it. So they can just be mean because they don't like what you said. It doesn't actually matter if you're right or wrong or if they're right or wrong. So it is a little bit concerning.
Yeah, I don't want my channel to be, stuff. People have been losing channels, and I'm just saying, you mentioned the thing about you being demonetized. Like, it starts with this, and if I come back and then they have 10, 100 times more people than me, like, what am I supposed to do?
Kiss the ring, baby. Make your money by doing what they did. Kiss the ring.
Yeah.
Sorry, Robin, go.
No, I'm sorry, guys. I know I have a delay or something going on. Yeah, that's the thing though. With someone like Nick, like Nick was saying earlier before I started having all these issues, I heard him talking about how, much he enjoys these debates. This is what he's here for. The way that I'm here to do the back and forths and, run my mouth and talk my trash, the way that Nick has been here, since day one doing these debates. And like you said, for them to accuse you of being overly prepared for your debate doesn't make any sense. And I don't understand how you can accuse someone of plagiarism on a live debate. It doesn't, me and AOH were talking before we came on the live show, and we said, I don't think that this guy, FYF, understands what plagiarism really is. I don't think he really, it's like when we hear these guys call everybody a hater, they don't really understand what the word means. So they overuse it and they use it when it's not appropriate.
Yeah. And he also said something like, don't use AI and get doxxed, so I don't think he knows what doxxed means either. Like doxxed doesn't necessarily mean expose. It's a specific type of like physical address. Like this is where this person lives. Like you're giving away personal information. So I don't think he knows what doxxed means either.
Yeah, praise the Don. We understand your frustration, but can't, these are the types of things that will get people in trouble. So I'm not posting your super. Sorry. I hope you can understand. I'll read some other ones.
Oh, real quick, I want to say one other thing. And
Yeah.
this is also the thing we're supposed to believe is that, okay, so I'm looking up at my screen, I'm reading my Word document. I guess he thinks I'm reading some kind of preempted, perfectly 3-minute timed AI like Grok chat or Chat GPT or whatever that I've had them do my opening statement for, right? But we are also to believe that same Chat GPT, when ran through this other AI program, that the Chat GPT was pulling from Reddit for 70% or whatever of what they said was plagiarism. That also doesn't make sense. You're telling me Chat GPT now is taking talking points from Reddit/NBA at random comments. And you know what I mean? Like that's not how AI works either. It doesn't pull from things like that. Not yet anyways. I mean, I guess it could in some form or fashion, but not like that.
So in other words, you were just flowing because you had prepared so well and they thought it was so good that they thought a robot must have written it.
Yeah, and that's why I said thank you for the sort of backdoor compliment there that apparently this guy at Originality AI or Lamont's still butthurt about it, that they come back a year and a half later and they're trying to essentially say that opening intro, man, it's been sitting wrong with me for like a year and a half. And like, man, it was just so tight and it was just so spot on and like front to back. Like it just doesn't sit. It's like, he had to like come back. It's just eating him alive.
Those guys are on the wrong side of history. A lot of things are going to eat away at them. Kind of like LeBron's insecurity bag that he drags around with him, causing him to do live therapy sessions with Steve Nash and
did
cause
you know
more harm.
He has a LeBron James GOAT Encyclopedia book that he's got out?
Yeah, I think Robin posted that, and I was just like,
"What is that? Nothing more than what is that? Nothing more than going around and getting information and putting it in a nice, easily digestible form for other people to read, right? Like, what the fuck?
I don't know, man. Yep. Here, I'll read the ones that are readable. Or Robin, go ahead. You can see that one.
Oh, don't make me do it, man. I'm all jacked up.
That's a good point. It's a good point. I don't know why I'm asking the guy with the delay to do that. FYF got in trouble with the police for being a con artist. He's always condescending if you're not on all fours for LeBron, like his mindless drone fan base.
Is that true?
I don't know. That could be. See, don't get us in trouble here, man.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Supposedly,
praise the Don. Praise the Don.
I've heard some stories though.
Praise the Don's got some history with FYF. I think he's super chatting it up.
Yeah, and they put that post out about Russell Westbrook being signed in Europe. Did you see that? And again, like some of this stuff, I'm just like, I understand if you're kind of like trying, if you're being a little like tongue in cheek and funny, but after a while, like it starts being like your reputation, So I don't get it sometimes.
The real Siberia says they know very well they can't refute the things you say because they're facts. So they have to dismantle your platform for saying them. It's sad. Yeah. Freedom of speech is changing before our eyes in the United States.
Yeah, it's incredible amount of people who like get mad at things people say, you know. It's like you can change the channel, man. You can go listen to something else, you know, like if it's bothering you that much or whatever. It's crazy.
So how many people in the chat watched Nick's video and watched the original debate? Because if you're here, I'm guessing this interests you in particular. I know Scap also destroyed Gil in FYF. Sounds like you did too.
That was another thing I wanted to say, that, you know, kind of getting back to the motivation for these kinds of things. Even Lamont, like
curious, if anything, it was curiosity, because I said for people to be claiming terrorism here in YouTube, it doesn't make sense.
Maybe if he turns off his camera.
I don't know, man. What a bummer. Bummer timing, Robin, for the network.
Yeah. But anyways, what I'll say is, like, even Lamont in the beginning of the video mentions that there are a lot of people who have like a vested interest in these things. Like, people really are like kind of arguing for legacies here. And there's a lot of paid actors, I'm sure we've talked about. Again, I don't really know the extent. I can't prove that in any way, but I think we know that there's probably a lot of people on the payroll that are paid to push certain talking points for certain people. Hell, even if I was LeBron, I could see myself paying my friends to troll other people online for me, right? Or something like that, right? It's not, so to think that it wouldn't happen, like, it's definitely happening, right? And
yeah, I mean, there's a problem when you have more money than God. At some point, you start thinking about ways to spend it. Boy, everybody's having network problems. Oh, well. Oh, well. I heard enough.